first to make sure we would be okay by me making this change. And I will absolutely know on Thursday. I should find out something today, which is, or start the process of finding out one thing today, which is what I want to mention here, because there are other components of this channel that I have been neglecting. And the reason being is time. Thus, one of the things that is going to be possible by changing my current situation, meaning job, is time. And that time allows me to make the, quote, proper videos. And by proper, I mean I've needed to, for this semester, redo a couple of my world religion videos. And I haven't done it. Those need to be redone. And part of today is going to be calling or emailing Hillsborough Community College Lifelong Learning and find out about offering courses through that program again. Just the Introduction to Religion or Introduction to Sacred Traditions. Then see if they think it would be okay to just do individual courses. So Introduction to Hinduism, Introduction to Buddhism, Introduction to each of these different traditions. No textbook. Possibly a project. So that, there is something they're doing. And do these courses, very low price, and put them up on, through HCC. And then was the idea of also doing those videos here on this channel for subscribers. Or not just subscribers, but I know YouTube has something with a paid subscription. So I need to figure that component out, which is something to do this week. Now, I want to do all types of videos, not just the intro, but the what did I learn from, which is what did I learn from studying religion, which I think needs to be a book series. I like that. So, possibly going to go that way. It is a lot of change. And again, I come back to what videos do I want to make? Which videos, and by videos I also mean what classes do I want to teach, if I'm able to teach it through HCC. If I'm not able to do it through HCC, I need to figure out how I want to handle it. Because I do not want to be a business here in Tennessee right now. Nope. Not right now, and yeah, we're just not gonna go there right this moment. I want to offer the courses either for free through a community library, and then be creative list would be to see if Pellissippi, if that school has any lifelong learning type program, or if any of the other schools do. I do want to reach out and see again if they have a need for a world religions instructor. Even though that doesn't feel like it's right for the long term, like really long term, so it was like a full-time position, but I feel like that could be part of the path. I didn't think I was going to touch on the same topics I've been talking about the last couple videos, but it keeps coming up in my mind because I saw a post on LinkedIn, and the person was saying, no job is worth your mental health. And a lot of the responses are the same things I talked about. What happens if, you need to pay your bills? You need to take care of your household. You need to be able to do these, one person brought up Maslow's triangle, hierarchy, yeah. And, those basic needs, food, shelter. But I think those basic needs do include health. But I also know, I mentioned in the video yesterday, or the other day, whatever, I mentioned it the one day, that we have to figure out that balance. We have our needs, but we also have our needs, the paying things. And so being reminded that financially we're not bad, but we're not where we ought to be, or even where we need to be in order to get where we would like to head. And so, and there are things that, different ways we can do stuff right now, and some cost more money and some cost more of my pride. Not quite really that, but they just cost sort of more time or stress. Alright, there we go. So, what do you do? I mean, how do you handle those needs? Do you say, okay, I'm going to work until I can afford those needs, save up the money? I have a friend out west who took out a loan. But what if you don't have the credit to do that? Well, what if you don't have the credit cards? Because I know people who will say they had nothing and they spent their limit on their credit card to start their business. And I think it is having the grit, the guts, the mindset, the lack, overcoming the guilt, the fear, all those components. It's also figuring out time management in the sense of, well, what is it you can do right now to really think and really, test the waters. And so for me, it wasn't just, okay, I'm stressed out and my hands are hurting and I'm getting tired of the drama that just kept growing and more duties, and honestly I don't want to work overtime. I really don't. I really want to work just 3 days a week doing the job that will pay the bills while I work on everything else. So you gotta figure out what you want. What is that point where you you are ready to make the change. And what will that change look like? I will be asking my boss, can I work just 3 days a week? You know, the 2 days she takes off and one more day so that we really touch base in person. If that works, great. But the other thing I've been doing is strategizing, talking with nobody on the internet. Just putting my process out there, all the craziness or lack thereof, or massive amount, depending on how you want to view things. But I went back to Indeed, and I have applied to, I think, 3 jobs, and I have links open on the computer to apply to the others on the company site once I have that little bit of extra time, which will be on my day off, which happens to be tomorrow. What if your day off is a Saturday or a Sunday, so you can't really go for interviews? Nowadays, there are enough places hiring. And no, the place you work may still not be your goal or what you're going after. But it could be something different. That there was a friend of a student once who we were talking about different ways of society and religion's impact and all these other things, and it was a cute conversation because the student, absolutely, like, amazing student, wonderful conversations. His friend didn't know me. In fact, the student purposely had, as he said later, not told his friend a lot yet because he wanted to see, the interaction. And so one of the things that got brought up was brain plasticity. And the fact is, as we get older, that that ability, plasticity, I do know how to speak, I really do. That brain plasticity decreases with age. It also decreases with routine. Sometimes, even if the next job you take, and it's easy to forget this. I even forgot it recently. Sometimes the intermediary job or thing you do or take is enough to get your brain working. As you are in a new routine, you're going to learn a few new things no matter what. Any job. It doesn't matter if you've worked at 15 restaurants. Number 16 is going to provide something different. The environment is different. Anytime there's that difference, yes, there's fear and all those other emotions and mindsets and possible triggers. But one thing that's happening is you are experiencing something different, which makes your brain think more. So being exposed to new ideas, being exposed to new environments, to working at a new job, all of these help our brains and brain plasticity. The student and I had an interesting conversation that later, student's friend, because I was told I was old. It was so neat. I ended up having a great conversation on like our second and third one, because I used to go to lunch with students sometimes. We'd have a study session or study groups that I would lead either at the Greek restaurant or like a couple of the other places down in Ybor. I miss that. I miss... yeah. We're gonna go back to that. Anyways, even if the job you're going to apply for and the job you're going to take, even if it's not the exact one that you're looking for, and even if You think that the situation might not be much better than the place you're currently at? Maybe taking it will help you broaden your horizons and get your mind thinking about, okay, so if I did this, if I took this other job, then maybe something else can happen. Maybe there's something more I can do. And if that next job is going to be closer to the time, the schedule, etc. that you need, change is good. Traditions are good. Being stuck in a situation that doesn't allow you freedom and liberty and possibility to be more of who you are and who you want to be and who you desire to be, who you need to be. We need, I'm looking forward to going to some of the videos that this channel is supposed to include. We need to be, as a society, able to try and do what we want to do, whether that's based on our experience, based on our education, based on our curiosity. You know, I remember pre-pandemic, I was reading a few articles on how not just millennials, but especially this next generation coming up, absolutely has a different mentality. Not all, but most. And it's this idea you can go from job to job. You know, you can work at a job for a year and then work at another job if it is going in a positive direction. If there is a cop up there, I want to move over so that I am not next to them, because that is what you are supposed to do. There we go. Past the popo and go back over. There we go. Alright, so while I empathize, understand, and respect those responses, because I've had them myself. You know, how is it I do this next thing without money or the resources to take care of what needs to be taken care of at that basic level? You know, you listen to some of the great ones, not mentioning names today, but you know, the great ones, and they'll say, well, don't have that coffee latte or frappuccino, or give up your donut, or give up your something that you're spending money on. Well, guess what? I know a lot of people who aren't spending money on those things and still don't have the money to do so. Or we don't think we do. You know, there is, of course, that statement, if you want it, you'll find a way. And I think that's true. The thing is, when you are in, and this isn't just a sense of the mindset of having a lacking mindset. I mean, yes, that is a component of it. But when you are legitimately in those situations, it is a question, well, what is something I can do? And right now, we are really lucky because, again, so many places are hiring. So many places are hiring. So, yeah. Yep. Alright. I am going to head in and get some stuff at the good Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Unlike my friend Fred Perone, I will not be looking for Mexican Coke. However, I will probably get some Publix tea. Alright. Have a good day. Bye.